Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com this afternoon from Sunset Baseball Field in Brush. It's the Bennett Tigers against the Brush Bee Diggers along with Kevin Fergus. I'm John Beltran. A swing and a grounder down the third baseline, barehanded by Ben Garrett. Throw to first and a hop is in time, and Casey Harvey is retired on a tremendous play. Will run through the top of the first inning here momentarily, but that was an all-star play by Ben Garrett, the opening hitter of the game. Cutter Smith on a 3-1 pitch was retired. And then Justin Francis, let's see if we get you to what they actually did. Anyway, there were 2 outs, and then Carlos Madera then delivered a base hit. And then that play right there, off the bat of the 4-hitter. And that was Casey Harvey being retired. But nonetheless, Smith was out. There was a line drive to second, a pop-up to first, and a grounder to third for the 3 outs. All right, opening pitch today was brought to you by Buildings by Design. When it comes to experience, Buildings by Design is the best in the business. Quality, commitment, and experience makes Buildings by Design the only choice when it comes to your next project. Bee Digger starting lineup brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Mobile banking on the go makes banking easier for you when you're on the go. Check it out today. Equitable Savings and Loan. Batting first is the center fielder, Carson Rule. The second hitter is the shortstop, Braxton Shelton. Pitcher Nick Wellen hits third. The cleanup hitter is Ben Garrett. Batting fifth, the second baseman, that is Alejandro Matos Garcia. The left fielder, Caden Moriarty, hits sixth. Different lineup for the Bee Diggers today. Cesar Hinojos, the catcher, hits seventh. Right fielder Eli Garcilaso hits eighth. Kyle Wellen, the first baseman, bats ninth. Defensively for Bennett, Mason Wakeham's at first. The second baseman is Carlos Madera. Deuce Ortiz at third. The shortstop is, Tom Ward.
Tom Ward.
Yep. The left fielder is TJ Clausen. In center field, Justin Francis. And right, Marcus Kane. Casey Harvey behind the plate, and Cutter Smith. Kevin, you can talk about Cutter Smith because he did a job against Brush in an 11-1 victory last May in the district semifinals in Bennett.
Cutter Smith couldn't have pitched a finer game that day. Anything and everything that he was throwing was working, and his ball was moving, and Brush didn't have an answer for him whatsoever.
Yeah, I think Caleb Cox might have had the only hit of that one. The pitch, and the fastball's a strike. A hard-throwing right-hander. What is he hit? Did you have him in the mid-80s velocity-wise, or low 80s, low to mid-80s?
I think he was 82, 83.
And the 0-1 swung on, grounded to short by Rule. That's fielded cleanly. The throw to first by Tom Ward is in time, and Carson Rule is out number 1. Now keep in mind that Bennett is 6-0 in the Frontier League, but 11-6 overall, and they have really struggled against the Patriot League. They've been trounced by Patriot League teams. Valley beat them in a one-sided game, so did Eaton.
Eaton's played them twice, and they beat them both times, and they've also played University.
Right, so they're 0-4. The Bee Diggers 8-7 overall, but the Bee Diggers are coming off maybe their worst week of the season. And a swing and a miss. Braxton Shelton hitting over 500, hitting out of the 2-hole. And again, this might be, what do you think, maybe a top 2 or 3 pitcher they faced so far this year. Here's the wide and the 0-1 offering. That's a fastball for a strike on the outer half at the knees, and he's bringing it. 0-2. Bennett in there. Orange jerseys with the black pants. The Bee Diggers in their home gold with the gray pants. No balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the first inning, and the offering. And that is outside with a fastball. Man, he's bringing some heat. You can hear the glove pop from here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here to Braxton Shelton in the bottom of the first inning. And the right-hander delivers. Swung on, grounded up the middle, headed for center field. A base hit. And Braxton continues his hot hitting with a 1-out single here in the bottom of the first inning. And again, what did he do? He just shortened up that swing, and you always think center field when you got 2 strikes on you.
You know, that's what I saw when Brush played University. They'd get 2 strikes if they weren't getting their pitch in order to square up and barrel. They were just hitting to the right side. They were hitting up the middle. Eaton on Saturday, they did the very same thing of just putting the ball in play when they were down 2 strikes.
And the pitch to Wellen is a fastball up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. The number 3 hitter in this lineup. 1 hit for Bennett in the top of the first inning. That was a Carlos Madera single. Now the Bee Diggers counter that with Braxton Shelton single here in the bottom of the first inning. A 2-step lead at first. Trying to extend it a bit, but it's tough to steal on this guy. And Casey Harvey's got a pretty good arm. And the 1-0. Swung on, popped up. That's going to be out of play over the first base dugout, occupied by Bennett.
I was thinking the wind coming out of the northeast might keep that in play, but it just inched its way over the Bennett dugout up the first baseline.
1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out, bottom of the first inning. Now keep in mind Thursday's game will be on 1010, but Chris Braun will be calling that also on 105.7 KPMX, so it'll be a simulcast, but it will be on 1010 in Sterling. And then Kevin back with you Saturday morning for the Brush Liberty Common game right here from Sunset Baseball Field. 2-step lead. And the 1-1. And down and away. No throw to first by Harvey. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, you look at last week, Kevin. I mean, you beat Estes Park in a game that you were down by 6 runs, and then you lose to Valley. You're up in the 7th inning. You had beat them the first time, but both games were close. And then, of course, what happened to Eaton after you were very competitive the first time around, and you lose 14-0. This has got to be a bounce-back week for the Bead Diggers.
Absolutely. They need to get off the schneid and be able to get some runs going here in the first inning and see if they can get some base hits to make that happen.
Fouled off to the right by Welland. Back to first is Shelton. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
After Saturday's game, that's one of those where you just say,
you need a short memory.
Done. It's over. Get rid of it. Move on.
That's it.
The next game is Tuesday. Get ready for it. Be prepared. Have the right approach.
And here we are. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shelton with about a 2.5 to 3-step lead. And the right-hander Cutter Smith with a long pause. Delivers. Runner going. Swung on and lifted foul down the right side. Giving chase over there is the Bennett first baseman Mason Wakeham. But again, as Kevin alluded to, that wind is going to drift that baseball from left to right, especially when you're taking a swing the other way. So the count remains at 2-2 to the Bead Digger pitcher. And let's see what Nick Welland can do on the mound, because he's been erratic at times this year, but was very good in the first inning. And he's had some good innings, but it's sustaining that success that has been the trick. If he can sustain the success, because he had a live arm in the top of the first. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. The base is occupied. He cannot take off. That's going to be an out. It doesn't matter. The ball gets by the catcher there. But that's a strikeout either way, so Welland is out. Yeah, they should call him out. Yep. And there's 2 down.
Third baseman number 15, Ben Garrett. So my only question about that, I'm only certified K8 or K6.
Here is Ben Garrett, the 4th place hitter, dealing with lower body injury all season long after pulling that hamstring against Yuma. And the offering and the breaking ball. Whoa, that's called a strike? Wow. It looked like Harvey almost gloved it out of the ground. It's 0-1. But let me tell you, if he's hurting, you couldn't tell defensively. That was a heck of a play to end the top of the first inning.
You know, Ben Garrett has done a fine job over at third base. He's made some Nolan Arenado type plays, much like that one, coming in, pick it up with one hand after 2 hops, and in one smooth motion all the way over to first base for the out.
1 ball, 1 strike. That pitch was a fastball down and away. Shelton off of second, 2 down, bottom of the first inning. The pitch, swing and a miss. Yeah, the board says 1 down. There should be 2 outs. 2 outs. I don't think they realized that was a strikeout of Welland. He's not standing at first base. The first base is occupied, and the only time you can get away with that is if there's 2 down, not with less than 2 outs. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled to the screen on a hanging breaking ball, and the count remains at 2-2. Crystal clear ice, good for any drink, any time of the year. AC Ice. You can pick it up at any local grocery or convenience store in Northeast Colorado today. AC Ice. Cutter Smith gets the sign from Harvey, and the Bennett right-hander comes home. That's a fastball called strike 3 on the outside corner, belt high. And the Bead Diggers are done here on the bottom of the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Let's head to the second. We'll do it in 60 seconds. Brush nothing, Bennett nothing on a frigid Tuesday in Brush on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Sean Beltran back with Kevin Fergus. Let's head to the second inning in Brush. You get a feeling this is going to be a pitcher's duel. And Nick Welland's going to be hard-pressed here to match Cutter Smith, who has thrown, 6 innings over 2 outings against Brush and allowed just 1 run and 1 hit. And the pitch. And that one's in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Kevin will take you through the 3rd and 4th innings. Mason Wakeham is the leadoff hitter here for Bennett in the second inning, followed by Deuce Ortiz and Hadley Holloway. And Welland kicks and fires, and that ball nearly clipped him. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, and as the competition got tougher last week, the Brush offense dissipated a little bit more. But again, that's what happens with better pitching for the opposition. Swag and a miss. Nice pitch by Welland at the knees. It's 2-1.
That's one thing that in the Patriot League you're going to see tough pitching all the way around. Crasile last week on Tuesday, he pitched really well for Estes Park for 5 innings. And then Brush ended up going up against Ty Kistler on Thursday. And he was another one that he's standing toeing the rubber, ready to fire. And then on Saturday, Brush faced Jared Ure, senior for Eaton. And he was almost pitching before he received the ball from the catcher.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. It was a check swing foul on the previous pitch, and I guess that ball must have landed on the ground or something, so it's a foul ball here. So it remains at 2-2. No strike out of Mason Wakeham, but Welland threw a lethal breaking ball that fooled him, and he somehow stayed alive in the count. And that fastball is low. Ball 3, strike 2. To the number 5 hitter, all right-handed hitters so far for Bennett. Looking for their 12th win of the year. The Beediggers are trying to snap a 2-game losing streak at 8-7 going in. And the 3-2 pitch. Fastball called strike 3, belt high. Was that dropped by Hinojos? I guess it was dropped. Yeah, he's not used to playing that position, at least at the varsity level. But he makes the throw to first. And the strikeout is recorded. And here is Deuce Ortiz.
Now batting third baseman number 25, Deuce Ortiz.
And you look at Nick Welland right now on his game. And they certainly need him. That's a fastball for a strike on the inner half, belt high. It's 0-1. That is Nick's first strikeout of the game. 3 balls put in play in the first inning. Actually 4 by Bennett. 1 was a base hit by Madera. Fastball is upstairs and the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Yesterday in Fort Morgan we had temperatures in the low to mid 40s, about the same today with a wind 44. And the pitch. Breaking ball is taken for a ball. Appeal at first and no swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here to Deuce Ortiz. With 1 out in the second, Hinojos lays down the sign in the offering. Swung on and lifted into right center field. A long run, and that ball is going to be caught out there by Carson Rule. He closed that gap in right center field. That's a tremendous amount of room that Carson Rule covered, and there's 2 down.
Now batting the designated hitter.
Yeah, he's got speed out there. Well, that's why he's in center field.
Holloway.
And when you know it, Kevin, we do have a little bit of moisture.
I'm trying to ignore it.
Yeah. Hopefully the equipment will try to ignore it as well. Here's Holloway, the pitch. And that's down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. As long as it's light, shouldn't be too much of an issue. 1-0 here with TJ Clausen on deck, but 2 down and the bases empty in the second. The pitch. That's a fastball for a strike on the outer half thigh high. And the count is level at 1-1. And Welland, just like Cutter Smith, likes to work quickly. Gets the sign from Hinojos. And the pitch swung on. That is popped foul and out of play. And the count goes to 1-2 to the right-handed hitting DH Hadley Holloway.
Were you listening for the thump on your car back here?
I was, but I judged the trajectory and distance of the baseball as well, and that fastball is upstairs. Yeah, you read my mind there, Kevin. 2-2. Luckily, I'm a little bit closer to the side, to the block there. 2-2. Holloway awaits the pitch, and that's bounced in by Welland. That one looked like, I guess if it bounces in like that, it gets stuck in your hand a little bit, stuck in your fingers, because it never really got to the plate in the air. And the 3-2 pitch, swung on line, caught by Ben Garrett at third, right around ankle high on a ball that was tomahawked by Holloway. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning. 0-0 between Bennett and Brush on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning. Bennett and Brush are scoreless. In Brush, along with Kevin Fergus, I'm John Beltran, and it'll be Alejandro Maltos Garcia, followed by Caden Moriarty.
Now batting your second baseman,
and Cesar Hinojos. Evan's trying to lay on the Latino like I do. He's learning. He's doing a good job because I came from that. I am that culture. He's laying it on nice and thick. Doing a good job up there. Evan doing the PA today. Paul Acosta is on assignment. The pitch, swing and foul tipped off the glove of the catcher Harvey. No balls and one strike. Hondo, a freshman's had a nice year for Brush, the third of the youngest of the three Maltos Garcia brothers. The 0-1 pitch, and that's in the dirt, and the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hondo is hitting .316. And now we can deal with more elements here. Hopefully blowing over. Fastball, a strike. I think it was back in like 2005 or 06. Brush and Bennett played a 2 innings in Bennett. Then they got called off. Even though the Rockies had postponed their game, they still played a couple of innings. Fastball, that is a called strike 3. And Hondo is caught looking. And for Cutter Smith, he has now struck out 3 beat diggers. That'll bring up the left-handed hitting Caden Moriarty.
When we played Bennett last year in May in the playoffs, Cutter Smith was on better than anybody on his team ever could imagine. They said after the game there was nobody better than he was for the day.
First pitch is a strike to Moriarty at the knees. Swing and a miss. That was just below letter level, and it's 0-2 to the left-handed hitter Caden Moriarty. Hitting with an open stance. And the offering, fastball is up and away.
And he's throwing well today.
And let me tell you, when you're throwing in this type of weather when it's cold, if you don't hit it square, it's going to hurt you. And the 1-2 pitch, that is outside. Good take there by Moriarty. And the count levels at 2-2 with 1 down and the bases empty in the bottom of the second. No score. In Brush, and the pitch. Low. Took something off it. I tell you, even if Moriarty's retired here, he's had a good plate appearance. He's seen a lot of pitches and has taken the right ones. 3-2. Wind and pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball letter high, and Moriarty strikes out. 4 strikeout here for Cutter Smith.
I would imagine that Cutter Smith is throwing in the low 80s today, and with his pitch, it looks like it has a little bit of late movement on his fastball. So his name holds true. He's throwing a cutter, I would imagine, and that's just given Brush a little bit of problem at this point.
Foul to the screen by Hinojos now. He threw 64 pitches on May 12th in that victory that Kevin alluded to, allowed 1 hit, struck out 8, and walked none in that game. It was 11-1 Bennett winning in that district semifinal, even though they did not advance to the state tournament because they lost to Lutheran. They were shut out in the district title game. Here's the wind in the 0-1. Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Harvey, and it's 0-2. To the number 7 hitter, Cesar Hinojos, here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the wind and pitch. Swing and a miss, letter high, and he strikes out the side in order. 5 strikeouts in the game for Cutter Smith. 2 complete. Kevin will take you through the next couple of innings. Brush nothing, Bennett nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
We're back to Sunset Field in Brush. After 2 complete innings, it is 0-0. Nick Wellen, Cutter Smith for Bennett are matching one another on the field to where neither team has scored runs. And TJ Clausen for Bennett will be coming up the bat here in the top of the 3rd inning. TJ is a senior, and he's hitting number 8. TJ on the season coming into today's game is hitting .356. Nick Wellen learns his lesson from watching all the other Patriot League pitchers, stands on the rubber, and brings the pitch, first pitch to Braxton Shelton and over to first base, Kyle Wellen, and out. Nice play, probably about a 3 or 4 hopper to Shelton.
And it took a nice hop there at the end. He was waiting for that Sunday hop. By the way, do you know why do they call it a Sunday hop? We're going to have to look that up, Kevin. They've said Sunday hop for years when it takes that true hop. It's a true hop, but also known as a Sunday hop.
I think that's where you just want it served up to where it's nice and easy to be able to handle.
Yep.
First pitch to Marcus Kane, strike on the outside corner of the plate. Marcus Kane hitting number 9 for Bennett today. The pitch from Welland. And Kane hits it back to Welland. Welland knocks it down on the mound and picks it up and throws it over to his brother, Kyle Welland, at first base for the out. That'll bring us back to the top of the order, Cutter Smith. Cutter Smith will be hitting in the top of the third inning, and he lined out to Alejandro Maltos Garcia at second base on a 3-1 pitch. Nick Welland doing much better today at throwing strikes. He's thrown 32 pitches, 20 of them for strikes. First pitch to Cutter Smith, a strike.
Well, his mechanics are excellent. I mean, he's following through. Remember, he was missing high a lot against Estes Park, and everything is middle down.
I'm looking at the mound, and the landing spot for Nick is in a lot better spot than it was against Estes Park. I'm thinking that the mound was probably to the point where it was dry, and they just didn't have enough moisture on there. It looks like, over the weekend we didn't get much moisture, but I'm sure they got a little bit of moisture on the mound, and it looks like he's got a good landing spot for him to be able to maintain consistency today. Cutter Smith fouls that pitch back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I missed the second pitch of the sequence.
Yeah, he just threw it in the dirt and it skipped to the screen, but that's fine. I mean, as long as he's either even or ahead in the count, he's looking really good right now as Nick Welland.
2 outs. Welland throws a breaking pitch upstairs. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs to Cutter Smith. Cutter Smith is a senior. Throws really well for Bennett. Nick Welland, the offering. Cutter Smith fouls that off down the right field line and out of play.
Early line scores are even. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and both teams have left a man on base. And, this has the makings of a very low-scoring game, especially when you have conditions like this, not really conducive to too much offense.
The wind is blowing, but it's not as strong as what it was when we played Platte Valley. Cutter Smith fouls the next pitch back and to the right. To the swamp.
Is that what they call that? I mean, it is. It's like a mini swamp.
Well, it's basically just rainwater that makes it there.
Right.
From the neighborhood. Pitch upstairs to Cutter Smith. Full count. I think we've done a number of things in order to try to retrieve balls from out of there, but pitch from Welland. Right down the middle, and Cutter Smith fouls it back.
Well,
8 pitches to Cutter Smith.
I was going to say,
number 9 coming up.
20% of the pitches that Welland has thrown has been in this sequence, 8 of the 40.
The offering from Nick. Cutter Smith hits it down the left field line, past the third baseman, over the bag, and Caden Moriarty gets a strong throw into second base. Cutter Smith stops at first base with a single.
Well, I'm telling you, if that was fair, it was barely fair. Because I thought off the bat, it was mainly maybe a tad foul, but nonetheless, we're also going to have a courtesy runner at first. But as usual, tough to get is that a number 2 out there? I'm not sure. Nonetheless, Smith will be in the dugout with 2 down, and here is Justin Francis for you, Kevin.
Justin Dupre. Is that number 2? I think it's Justin Dupre.
Oh, you're talking about the
runner at first base, the courtesy runner. The pitch to Justin Francis, up and in. Dupre gets a good lead at first base. Welland, toes the rubber. The pitch in the dirt. Gets past Hinojos, and Dupre moves up to second base.
Well, that'll be scored a wild pitch with 2 down now, and Bennett's got a threat here in the third inning, no score. Big pitch coming up here for Welland.
2 balls, no strikes. Pitch to Francis, pops up. Ben Garrett gets underneath it and hauls it in at third base, and that's the third out. For Bennett, no runs on one hit, one runner left, no Brush Beat Digger errors. After 2.5 innings of play, Brush 0, Bennett 0. You're listening to Brush Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Brush Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. Eli Garcilaso comes to the plate, number 8 hitter and right fielder. Eli is a senior for Brush. Garcilaso's hitting .273 on the season. Eli has been one of the faithful ones throughout the winter because he doesn't go out for a winter sport that's always in the cage. He's always hitting. He'd wear my arm out while I was coaching, and Eli'd just say, "Give me 5 more, Coach. Give me 5 more."
Well, and you look at him, he's been pretty productive. He was hitting over 300, now at 273.
Pitch from Smith, and Eli chases that fastball up high.
Yeah, you're never hitting that pitch. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. That's tough to hit.
Sometimes that pitch, even though it's hard and fast up in the eyes, it's easy to just let that bat go and try to hit it. You can never catch up to it.
That's a tough one.
Second pitch to Eli is down below the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch from Cutter Smith, a strike right down the middle of the plate. Bennett with 2 hits, Brush with 1. And pitch was on the inner part of the plate. Eli checked his swing. Umpire rings him up as a strike out.
Yeah, I think it got the corner anyway. Not only has he struck out 6, he struck out the last 6 beat diggers, so nobody has made contact since Braxton Shelton had the base hit with 1 out in the first inning.
Cutter Smith pitches well. Kyle Wellen comes to the plate, hitting 400 for Brush. He hits it in no man's land, and it drops past the second baseman, in front of the right fielder, in front of the center fielder for a single, and Kyle Wellen stretches that to second base.
Yeah, he just kept going. Marcus Kane and Justice Francis converged on the baseball. They couldn't get to it, and Wellen didn't stop. If he even hesitates for a second, he's going to be out at second, but I'm impressed with this guy. He's a freshman.
What would that be, a hustle double?
It's a hustle double. That's exactly
Very good for a freshman. Top of the order, Carson Rule. Carson Rule grounded out his first time up.
Yeah, and he had a good swing there. He just fouled it straight back. He had a sharp grounder to Tom Ward before he was retired.
Carson Rule is another one that spent many an hour in the cage in the cavern at Brush High School. Carson Rule hits it down, bunts, and the ball goes foul.
Yeah,
dropped his bat, and the catcher, Casey Harvey, had to try to pick up the ball around Carson's bat, but the ball was foul when he picked it up.
I mean, it was a great idea. In fact, had he bunted that down third, there's no way they throw him out. Even down first, quite frankly, but even probably a better shot down third because Smith, the pitcher, is falling off to the first base side.
And Deuce Ortiz is playing back. But we're down 0-2 in the count right now. The pitch upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Carson Rule.
And right now, pitch count is not a concern for Cutter Smith. He's thrown 38.
I think both Cutter Smith and Nick Wellen are just about in that same range as to how many per inning. Pitch from Cutter Smith on the outside black of the plate, and Carson Rule strikes out looking for the second out.
What a well-located pitch at the knees.
I think that's what Cutter Smith was doing when we were playing them last year in May, is he just painted the corners and his ball was moving, and we just didn't have an answer for him. So that brings up Braxton Shelton. Braxton had a single his first time up. Kyle Wellen leads off from second, and Braxton hits the ball to right center field, and we're going to have the first run of the game. Braxton Shelton goes to second, and he's safe. and Kyle Wellen comes around and scores for the first run of the game for Brush. The first run of the game is brought to you by Western Engineering Consultants, engineering and consulting services for all your projects. Strong commitment to their clients' needs set them apart. Get your project started the right way with Western Engineering Consultants. That brings up Nick Wellen with Braxton Shelton on at second base. Nick swings through the first pitch. Oh, Wellen hits the ball over the third baseman's head, and Braxton Shelton comes home in order to be able to score the second run of the game. And the ball from the left fielder to the second baseman gets past the second baseman, but the right fielder was backing up. So Nick Wellen gets a single.
A single, and then he goes
and
to
an
second
RBI
on the throw. Yep.
Number 15, Bennett.
How about that? A 2-out rally. It's 2-0 Brush.
Very good. All we need is just being able to get some runs, and that is the ticket for getting us where we need to be able to win this ball game, to get off that 2-game losing streak. First pitch to Ben Garrett, a ball outside. Pitch from Cutter Smith. Outside corner of the plate, Cutter Smith with a strike. 1-1 strike to Ben Garrett. Ben Garrett was leading the team in RBIs, but Nick Wellen just surpassed him, and Ben Garrett fouls that back to the swamp on the right. Ben Garrett's down in the count, 1-2 strikes, 2 outs. Nick Wellen leads off at second. Cutter Smith, 45 pitches, 34 strikes. Garrett reaches out, fouls that back, stays alive. Brush with 2 runs in the bottom of the third inning against Cutter Smith, who had struck out 7 guys in a row.
Yep, 6.
Ben Garrett chases a pitch upstairs, swings through it for the third out. So for Brush, in the bottom of the third inning, they score 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no Bennett errors, and Brush left 1 runner on base. After 3 complete innings, Brush 3, Bennett 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. You're back to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Sunset Field in Brush, 44 degrees, and Brush is leading the Bennett Tigers 2-0 after 3 complete innings. For Bennett, in the top of the 4th inning, Carlos Madera, who had a single his first time up, 1-for-1 officially on the day. Nick Wellen, this will be his 45th pitch.
Yeah, not bad. 27 strikes and 17 balls so far.
Madera coming into the day hitting .528.
And had a base hit his first time up, as you talked about.
Pitch from Wellen. Inside. Wow, umpire said it caught his sleeve. I don't think it hit any part of his body, but it caught his sleeve for a hit by pitch.
I'm not even sure it hit that, but apparently it did. Yeah, I thought he just backed off the plate, but either way.
So Madera to first base. Casey Harvey Jr. comes up for the Bennett Tigers, wears number 8 on his back. Catcher for the Bennett Tigers, Nick Wellen, the offering. Curveball upstairs. Ball 1. Madera leads off at first. Nick Wellen from the stretch. Peers over at first base. Brings the pitch. Fouled back by Casey Harvey.
Took a big hack at that one. and that did hit an automobile. Not driven by either one of us, too.
Casey Harvey, coming in today, was hitting .500. I noticed a number of guys for Bennett were hitting at .500 or above, and their on-base percentage was in the .600 range. Just leads me to believe that the competition that they've been facing, not in the Patriot League,
Yeah.
is not as been strong as what Brush has been facing.
Well, again, outside of the Frontier, they're only 5-6. They're 6-0 in league play.
The pitch from Welland. Strike. Nice curveball that breaks late over the outside corner of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Casey Harvey. Nick Welland gets a sign. The offering. Harvey fouls it back. Out of play.
I mean, this is easily the best game he's thrown. I know he threw well against Yuma, but that Yuma seemed like that was last season, even though it was last month.
Nick Welland, the offering. Runner goes. Ball's popped up. Carson Rule coming in. Braxton Shelton going out. Ball drops on the ground. And everybody's safe. It was one of those where Braxton Shelton, Carson Rule, and Alejandro Maltos Garcia were all right there. And somebody just forgot to be able to reach up with a glove and pull it in.
I think it went off of Braxton's glove, and there was a collision out there. Yeah, I scored it in air. I think that ball should have been caught, and unfortunately, Braxton's probably the one that's going to be penalized there because he's the one who had the glove on the ball, and somebody's got to call for that, and maybe he did, but it just was a mess out there. And now all of a sudden, Bennett is first and second with nobody out and a 2-0 Brush lead in the 4th inning.
So runners at first and second for Bennett after Brush scores 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bennett, with nobody out, has runners on first and second. Madera on at second on a hit by pitch. And Casey Harvey reached first on an error.
Yeah, there's a courtesy
first
runner,
pitch,
out there.
A ball to Mason Wakeham. Pitch from Welland, a strike. Outside third of the plate. Brush has been turning double plays, pretty consistent. Right now would be a great time for a double play. A pitch from Welland to Hinojos, a ball.
Yeah, Caesar framed it nicely on the outside corner, but it was off the plate. It's a good call at 2-1 now.
Yeah, I was going to say Cesar did a nice job of framing that pitch, but just didn't get the call. The offering from Welland. Curveball upstairs. Ball 3.
Yeah, that was an interesting pitch selection there. You got 2 on with nobody out, and they went with a breaking ball at 2-1. Now he's got to come in with a fastball.
The offering. Ball's hit down the right field line. It's going to be foul. Kyle Welland goes back, gets the out, and throws to third base. Ben Garrett applies the tag. We have a double play.
That is an incredible play by Kyle Welland. What a tremendous, and then he made a bullet throw. So that double play is going to go 3-5. What a play. I mean, that was a phenomenal play by Kyle Welland at first base.
Wow.
There was no guarantee that the catch was going to be made, and yet he delivers a strike over to third base. And now you had just first and second, nobody out a second ago. Now you have a man at first and 2 down.
There's our double play, John.
Yeah, not what we thought. That type of double
Not a
play.
traditional double play, but Welland with the pitch, a strike. Seems like that energized Nick. Get out of this inning without Bennett scoring. Wouldn't that be great?
Those Wellands, man, great athletes. And Kyle, wow, that was anything but easy.
I know we have a courtesy runner at first base for Casey Harvey. The pitch from Welland, a ball. Number 1, Mike Babby, is the courtesy runner. I think Mike Babby has stolen 16 bases, leads
Yeah, well, there's 17.
Bennett, and just right on cue, there he goes. He steals second base. Pitch in the dirt.
Oh, big 2-1 pitch coming up here with the Bead Diggers up 2-0 in the 4th inning.
Deuce Ortiz 0 for 1 on the day. Doesn't swing at the pitch on the outside corner of the plate, a strike, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second, Mike Babby. Nick Wellen peers in, gets the sign from Cesar Hinojos. The offering from Wellen to the plate. And Deuce Ortiz hits a ball to center field. And Carson Rule throws the ball to Cesar, and Cesar throws to third base and then throws it away down the left field line. So Babby is going to score Bennett's first run on the air from Cesar Hinojos. And on the play, Deuce Ortiz moves up to second base.
Now the Beat Digger lead is down to 1 at 2-1. Well, what happened there, first of all, is that Cesar threw off his back foot. He chased the runner to third, and he didn't create an angle for himself. Sometimes you got to create an angle, either throw to the inside of the line or the outside of the line. And I think he was trying to throw around the runner. And when you try to throw around the runner, Kevin, sometimes you don't throw the ball accurately. In fact, like you mentioned, it did not get there on the fly. And that breaking ball is in there for a strike to the next hitter for Bennett, Hadley Holloway, who lined out his first time up. Take it away.
Holloway down 0-1 on the count. The pitch from Wellen. And Hadley hits a ball to Carson Rule in center field. Carson takes about 8 steps back, squeezes the ball, and Brush gets out of the inning with only 1 run given up.
Yep, there was a base hit as well. And the Beat Diggers did hurt themselves there, Kevin, with I have a couple of errors on them.
Yeah. Bennett scored 1 run on 1 hit. There were 2 Beat Digger errors and 1 runner left on base. So after 3.5 innings of play, Brush Beat Diggers 2, Bennett Tigers 1. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Yeah.
Here we go.
We're back to Sunset Field in Brush. Brush with a 2-1 lead in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Hondo Maltos Garcia comes to the plate. Hondo struck out his first time up. Cutter Smith, through 3 innings, has thrown 47 pitches. This will be pitch number 48.
And he struck out 7.
First pitch from Smith, a strike. Struck out 7?
I believe
Were they in a row? 7
no,
in a row?
6 in a row.
6 in a row.
Yeah.
The pitch from Smith to Hondo, swinging strike. Cutter Smith stands on the rubber, brings the pitch to Alejandro Maltos Garcia, a ball outside.
Yeah, this guy's still throwing smoke.
Smith, the offering. And Hondo grounds the ball, 3-hopper to the shortstop, gets it over to first base, and out.
Yeah, he's got 8 strikeouts. My mistake there, but 6 were in a row. And Hondo retired by Tom Ward.
Caden Moriarty struck out. He was part of that string of 6 that struck out in a row.
Right, but he had a pretty decent plate appearance because he was down 0-2, then 3 consecutive balls, and he swung at a 3-2 at the letters, and he fanned.
The pitch from Smith, swinging strike from the left-hander, left side, Caden Moriarty. Caden throws right, but hits from the left side.
Yeah, that's
the pitch from Smith, and Moriarty swings through the pitch. Strike 2. Smith, the offering. Moriarty takes a ball down below the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Caden Moriarty, the freshman. The pitch from the senior, Smith, fouled back by Moriarty. Last summer in Legion Ball, Caden Moriarty played quite a bit. I was thoroughly impressed with his approach to the game. The Smith from Smith, fouled off by Moriarty down the third baseline.
Yeah, it drops in.
It drops for a foul. Third baseman gave chase. Shortstop gave chase. Left fielder was over there as well, but it just found the green grass here in Brush. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Caden Moriarty.
1 out and the base is empty.
See if Caden Moriarty can get his first varsity base hit.
Well, it's looking more and more that we're going to get challenged here weather-wise.
The pitch from Smith upstairs. So Moriarty, the 6 pitches into this at bat. 7 pitches from Smith. This will be his 7th pitch right here. And Moriarty swings, and catcher drops the ball and throws down to first base in order to be able to complete the strikeout.
Did you see that? He threw him a hook, a breaking ball there, and Caden was not expecting. I don't blame him. He's thrown very few curveballs in the game, but that time he just pulled the string, and that's strikeout number 9.
There was enough speed difference between his fastball and what he's throwing that's enough to make anybody spin in the dirt. Pitch from Smith, and Hinojos hits the ball out to right center field for the 3rd out. Marcus Kane squeezes it. I was thinking maybe we might have a chance, but Kane was able to drift back in order to be able to pull that ball into play. For Brush, in the bottom of the 4th inning, no runs, no hits, no Bennett errors, and nobody left on base after 4 complete innings. Brush Bee Diggers 2, Bennett Tigers 1. Bee Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
Let's head to the 5th inning. The Bee Diggers lead the Bennett Tigers 2-1. John Beltran with Kevin Fergus. In a game approaching the 1 hour mark, and that's pretty quick considering we played now 4 innings. Nick Wellen delivers, squaring to bunt, and it's waved at and missed. The pitch was way up in the zone to T.J. Clausen. Clausen doubled, or check that, he grounded out his first time up, grounded out to the shortstop Shelton. Bennett has 3 hits in the game, the Bee Diggers with 4. And the offering, swing and a miss and a ball in the dirt. Threw him a breaking ball, and Clausen right now has just taken a couple of swings at pitches that were not even close to being strikes, and it looks like he's over anxious. It's only a 2-1 game in the 5th inning.
But you might expect that from a number 8 or number 9 hitter in the lineup.
Good point. Wide in the 0-2. Fastball is up and in. Yeah, stark contrast between these pitchers in terms of strikeouts. Nick Wellen has fanned just 1 in the game. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swung on and driven to center field in the air. Carson Rule to his left makes the catch as he flags it down, and there's 1 down in the 5th inning on a ball that was hit pretty hard by T.J. Clausen. That was elevated by Nick Wellen. Here's Marcus Kane, who grounded right back to the mound. And Nick Wellen, being the football player he is, played it off his body and retired the hitter. 66 pitches thrown by Wellen unofficially. Gets a sign from Cesar Hinojos. And the pitch. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. The Bee Diggers and Sterling Tigers on Thursday. Chris Bull-Braun will have that call. In Sterling, 4 o'clock. And the offering. Down and away. Yeah, we'll have a simulcast of that game on 105.7 KPMX. As well as KPMX.com. A little moisture here once again in Brush. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2-1 Brush in the 5th inning. The right-hander Wellen kicks and fires. And the breaking ball's a beauty. Man, that one dropped in over the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cutter Smith a threat on deck. You want to get to him with 2 outs and nobody on. If Wellen can throw another pitch like that, maybe not a breaking ball, but something perhaps down and away. 1-2. And he went for it, and it's fouled off to the right. Sticking on his bat there was Kane. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The one thing you don't want to do with a number 8, number 9 hitter is you don't want to speed up their bat by throwing that curveball to where they end up getting that bat head out in front, and they do some damage.
Right, and especially after a late swing like that. Just a protect type of swing. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Count remains at 1-2. The Bee Diggers scored their runs in the 3rd. Bennett countered with 1 in the 4th. Marcus Kane awaits the 1-2. Swung on and popped foul and out of play. That pitch was up in the zone. And Kane took a hack at it. Now, Welland still has enough left here that he might be able to go the distance, but first things first, get by this batter. 1-2 pitch. Up and in with a fastball. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Already had a great day. Had a visit here from my friend Veronica Maltos Garcia, so it's a fantastic Tuesday already. And the fastball is low. 3-2. On deck once again, Cutter Smith. Laying down the sign is Hinojos. And Welland delivers. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Second strikeout by Nick Welland. A tremendous pitch on a 3-2. And there's 2 down here in the 5th inning. How about that one, Kevin? I didn't anticipate him throwing a breaking ball, but he did. And
Right pitch, right spot.
right, absolutely, because he kept going fastball, fastball, fastball.
And he kept fouling those off.
Cutter Smith has had 2 good plate appearances, a line drive for an out and a single to left. He's 1 for 2, and the pitch, and he swings and lifts it to left field. To his left is Caden Moriarty in the gap, and he makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Nick Welland. Let's head to the bottom of the 5th and brush. It's the Bee Diggers 2, the Bennett Tigers 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. To the bottom of the 5th we go. The Bee Diggers lead the Bennett Tigers in brush 2-1. And the Bee Digger runs in the 3rd came with 2 down. It was 2 outs and a bases empty. And then Braxton Shelton began the rally, and it just kept going. Actually, the rally was started by Welland, Kyle Welland, when he had that double, and then it kept going. It'll be Ivan Cadenas, Kyle Welland, and Carson Rule for the Bee Diggers here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ivan with his first plate appearance of the game. Yeah, you know it's a pitcher's duel when you're in the 8 hole
Number 6, Yvonne.
and you're in the 5th inning, and it's the 2nd time around the lineup, not the 3rd time.
I'm not complaining.
No, it's moving along swiftly.
Cold day, 43 degrees at this point.
Swing and a miss. Cutter Smith throwing a fastball right by the Bee Digger freshman. It's 0-1. And even though Smith has all the strikeouts, he trails 2-1. The pitch. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes. At one point, Smith had struck out 6 in a row. And the offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right. A late swing, but Ivan stays alive.
I think Nick Welland has been matching Cutter Smith pitch for pitch. It's just Cutter has all the strikeouts.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between throwing 81, 82 miles per hour and 73, 74 fastballs that Nick Welland is touching on.
Foul down the third base side of the chopper by Ivan. Count remains at 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Ivan, followed by Kyle Welland and Carson Rule as we play the bottom of the 5th inning. Brush in the lead, 2-1, and the pitch up and away. Colorado Plains Medical Center has experienced physicians and a highly trained surgical team trained in the latest procedures. Explore what procedures are possible in your hometown. Colorado Plains Medical Center. The pitch swung on and lifted towards shallow left field along the line. TJ Clausen to his right. Ranges under it, makes the catch for the out. 1 down in the 5th inning. That'll send up Kyle Welland. And again, Welland had that double.
Just the way the grass is greening up here in Brush. The infield has always been notorious for being slow, especially once you get the good summer growth going. But as green as this grass is for Brush, Brush could hit a soft roller. Bennett might not be used to it and be able to give Brush an opportunity.
Fastball is upstairs. I'm telling you, the way Welland's playing today, he's earning himself some more playing time because he's doing very well. The pitch swung on, grounded left side, headed for left field. A dive by Ward. It's off his glove. It's a base hit for Kyle Welland. And Welland is now 2 for 2. And he's doing it against one of the best pitchers in 3A, and Cutter Smith. The Bee Diggers have 5 hits in a game, 2 apiece by Shelton and Kyle Welland. And here's Carson Rule, who grounded out and struck out looking. He's 0 for 2.
I think Kyle Wellen is a smart ball player. He watches, he observes, he sees what he's capable of doing, and then he takes advantage of it.
Two-step advantage at first. Again, tough to run on Cutter Smith. And the pitch. Check swing foul. Off to the right, it's 0-1. Only 68 pitches thrown by Cutter, so he's not going to have too much trouble here even trying to go the distance.
His last two starts, he was sitting right at 110, 111, as he completed batters in the two previous games, the last 2 weeks.
The stretch. Long pause in a pitch. Swing and a foul tip, perhaps into the glove. It's 0-2. Here to Carson Rule. 1 on, 1 out. 2-1 Brush, bottom of the 5th inning. Throw back to first, Wellen back in standing.
Brush can just put the ball in play. I'm just thinking that Bennett, they're out there on the field, they're cold. Maybe we can get some opportunities to where there's
Swung
a
on,
hit and run, perfect.
Into right field for a base hit, headed to third as Wellen. And the throw to third all the way through the slide. He's safe, and here's Rule to second to throw, and he is going to be out. That's going to go 9-5-4. Check it. It was the shortstop covering 9-5-6. Give the base hit to Rule, but then he's thrown out on the back end, and there's 2 down here for Braxton Shelton. Shelton is sitting at 2 for 2, as we mentioned earlier. He singled and doubled and scored a run.
Shelton last week on Thursday had a single, double, and triple.
The pitch. Down and away.
And then Valley wised up and decided to intentionally walk him on a 1-1 count.
1 ball and no strikes. And the offering. Oh, and that ball clipped him. That did hit him. Yeah, I don't know if he wanted to take first base. I think he wanted to stay in that batter's box. But, I mean, that's a smart pitch by Smith. You got to back a good hitter off the plate, and he did there. Now, Nick Wellen has struck out swinging and singled. So Braxton on base for the 3rd time. That on-base percentage got to be way up there. Probably over 600, I would think.
He started out the day at 614, and he's 3 for 3. And Nick Wellen just hit the ball hard up and over the fence for a home run.
A
wow!
3-run shot by Nick Wellen on the first pitch thrown to him from Cutter Smith.
I'm sorry,
Good
I
call
took
there.
that.
And the Beat Diggers now lead by a score of 5-1. And Wellen got all of that baseball.
He tomahawked it. The ball was up in the zone, and he just got on top of it and was able to drive through it. And just the trajectory off the bat, you could tell that he hit it solid, squared it up, and up and over the fence.
He likes it up there, Kevin. He likes that pitch up in the zone because didn't the swing look fairly effortless? Like he didn't really have to. He didn't have to really crank it too much.
Now batting, third baseman number 15.
Simple, but I watched Daniel Murphy the other day against Atlanta, and he just had a simple swing, and the ball's out. I mean, if you try to muscle it up, you're not going to hit the ball out.
Exactly. The breaking ball's in there for a strike to Ben Garrett. Trying to get off the schneid here. Struck out looking and swinging. The Beat Diggers, coming off a lackluster week, are off to a good start this week. The pitch swung on line. A base hit into right field. Coming up with a baseball is Kane. He's going to throw to first, but late. And Garrett had to run all the way through the bag there. And now the Beat Diggers have 8 hits in the game. I believe that's 4 in this inning. Here is Hondo.
Now batting, second baseman number 12.
Well, what a difference a year makes. Hondo is struck out and grounded out. He's 0 for 2. I think this is the Brush team that Tom Odo wanted to see last week.
Absolutely.
The pitch, swing and a miss and a fastball at the letters. Hondo tried to extend the lead on that swing. The Beat Diggers have 3 across in the 5th inning. Harvey lays down the sign. And the 0-1. Check swing foul off the end of the bat. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, in the 5th and 6th innings against Estes Park, Brush played like this. In the first 5 innings against Valley, Brush played like this.
Right, you got to just put him away here. 0-2 pitch. Down and away with a fastball. Kind of 1-2.
Young team, they're growing, they're getting better. halfway through the season, and this is just going to help advance them that much more to where they know that they got to complete the game.
Grounder to short, charging his Ward on the second hop. He throws to first for the out. And the Bead Diggers are finally retired here in the fifth inning, but Brush did some damage, getting a 3-run homer from Nick Wellen. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors and a man left. 5 complete. The Bead Diggers are 6 outs away from claiming their 9th victory of the year. They lead Bennett 5-1 on 1010 KSIR in KSIR.com. This has been a close game all the way, but now the Bead Diggers open it up with a 4-run lead. Justin Francis, the hitter, the pitch. And the breaking ball's a beauty. No balls and 1 strike.
Nick Wellen's going to go to the mound here in the top of the 6th, and he's going to be energized after that 3-run home run that he hit in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Swung and a foul at the plate. Francis popped out twice. Once to the right side, once to the left. No balls and 2 strikes. Not just a Bank of Colorado there. Or in Colorado, they're Bank of Colorado, member FDIC, proud supporter of local sports and academics. 0-2 to Francis, hitting from the right side in the pitch. Swung on and popped up, and that one is headed right towards the automobile, but of course it misses, as it has the last 20 years. And it remains at 0-2. One time? Yeah. But it did minimal damage. Minimal damage. No balls and 2 strikes. Opening up that stance even more as Francis gets a sign from Hinojos on pitch number 80 from Nick Wellen. And that is outside. Boy, barely missed. He pulled a string on that. Looked like a changeup. Count goes to 2-2. Wellen has been pitching to contact today, as Nick has just 2 strikeouts. And that fastball's inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Check that. It is 2-2. That was pitch number 5. He fouled off the 0-2. 2-2 to Francis. And Wellen delivers. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Well, Braxton Shelton is waiting in the wings, or a Bryson Wooldridge perhaps, if they need somebody to close out this game. But again, if Wellen just retires hitters down to 28 pitches and needs 6 outs, he should be good to go. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the opening hitter of the 6th inning. The Bead Diggers lead the Bennett Tigers 5-1. The pitch. Breaking ball waved at, and it's in the dirt. The throw to first by Hinojos completes the 3rd strikeout there for Nick Wellen. And there's 1 down as Justin Francis goes down swinging. That'll bring up Carlos Madera, singled and hit by a pitch. You know how rare of a day it is today? We got some moisture coming in there. Well, it's coming in from the west, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it's
southwest.
Back about Wiggins Hill or thereabouts right now.
Well, let's see what we got here. The pitch swung on and fouled back. No balls and 1 strike.
But it looks dark back off over here to the west. So we know the moisture is coming in.
Well, we'll pull out the towels here momentarily. The wine and offering down and away, and the count levels at 1-1. Well, they played enough already for an official game.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, if it gets real bad, we don't have a time frame on that. I know they were anticipating during the 5 o'clock hour, and that's in the dirt. Ball 2, strike 1. 1 down, bases empty in the 6th inning. The big hit of the game, a 3-run homer by Brush starting pitcher Nick Wellen. And Brush's 5 runs have all come with 2 outs in an inning. Madera digs in, and the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a curveball. Counted 2-2. And that thing hangs up there, and all of a sudden it dips in the zone beautifully for Wellen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He turns and fires. Swing and a miss and a fastball at the letters. Strikeout number 4, and there's 2 down in the 6th inning. Keep it going, Nick. Let's get out of here. All we need are 4 outs. Having said that, I don't want the Bead Diggers to go down quickly in the bottom of the 6th inning, but given the weather conditions that you just pointed out, Kevin,
I think that rain is far enough to the west that we should be okay to be able to get us through the 6th and the 7th innings. But, it's one of those that just keep your antenna up as to what could be coming.
1 ball and no strikes. My buddy Rick Lorenzini reports there's rain in Weldona, so that's not too far away. Got to get through this inning. With 2 down and the bases empty, and a pitch to Casey Harvey. He swings and pops it up into foul territory along the third base side. It's out of play, and Brad Shelton stayed right where he was, as did the others.
I thought Tammy Wellen was going to make the catch up here in the stands. If she would have just put her hand out to the left, she would have been able to pull that in.
Well, I'm surprised Kyle Wellen didn't make that play, considering that he made plays at first. And he was going to leap over the fence. 1 ball and 1 strike. Grounding out and reaching on an air is this hitter Harvey, the pitch. And that's upstairs. Ball 2, strike 1. On deck is Mason Wakeham. 91 pitches thrown by Wellen, so he's getting close to the limit here. Here's the wine and the offering in the dirt. 3-1. Again, it's an official game. We're going to have a monsoon, which we hope to avoid, and the Bee Diggers do have a 4-run lead. 3-1 pitch. Ooh, just missed. Wow, down and away. That will allow Mason Wakeham to hit.
Is that Nick Wellen's first walk, aside from the hit by pitch?
That is Nick Wellen's first walk.
So he's been pitching a lot better today than what he did a week ago.
Yeah.
Where he was getting the 3 balls and walking guys, where today he's been able to take care of business of getting ahead in the count instead of falling behind.
Yeah, now much better, much better. And a pitch to Wakeham. Swing and a miss, and a fastball down around the ankles. It's 0-1. Yep. That was a Tiger Woods swing. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop out of Wakeham. Wellen comes in now with pitch number 95, and here it is. And that bounces away up the third base side. Hinojosa picks it up, throws to second, but that's going to be a wild pitch, advancing as Harvey, or the courtesy runner out there.
I think that's Mike
Yeah,
Babby.
that's Babby again. Well, at this point, don't even worry about the runner. You got a 4-run lead, and we need to go home. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. We're in the 6th inning. Wellen looks back, and the offering swung on and popped up into foul territory down the third base side. Garrett gives chase, and he runs out of room, and it's over the fence, out of play, and it's 1-2. I'm a little surprised it's a 5-1 game right now. The way it was going, I said, man, this could be 1-0, 2-1. But Brush came up with some clutch 2-out hits, both in the 3rd and 5th innings.
Triggered by the freshman Kyle Wellen.
Yeah, he generated and started both rallies. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner off of second is Mike Babby, the pitch. Swing and a miss and a ball in the dirt. Hinojosa's going to have to throw through to first. And to complete the strikeout, Wellen strikes out the side in this inning. And that does it here for the Bennett Tigers in the top of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. 5.5 complete. The score, Brush 5, Bennett 1. This is Brush Bee Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran back with Kevin Fergus. Let's head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Bee Diggers lead the Bennett Tigers by a score of 5-1. It'll be Caden Moriarty stepping in for Brush. Caden has struck out twice, but has had 2 deep plate appearances in terms of number of pitches. And Cutter Smith will attempt to go the distance, even though he's down 5-1 in the 6th inning. He's thrown 79 pitches. He's struck out 9 in the game. Moriarty, easy for me to say. Hinojosa and Cadenas the pitch. Fastball is inside. 1 ball and no strikes to the freshman.
I like what Coach Odell has been doing with his freshmen, getting them experience. They're learning, getting better all the time.
A 2-hopper to first to Mason Wakeham. He steps to the bag, and there's 1 down to the bottom of the 6th inning. And notice the strikeouts have really gone down for Cutter Smith. He had 8 through about 3 1/3 innings, and here is Cesar Hinojosa, who struck out and hit that deep fly ball to the right fielder Marcus Kane a couple of innings ago. Here's the 1 and the pitch. Fastball is low.
I think what's been happening with Cutter is his pitch hasn't been moving on the back end. He's not been getting that late movement like he was in the first 3 innings.
Right. 1-0 pitch. Fastball is upstairs. It's 2-0. Yeah, if you're Brush, you want to go up here swinging to get back on the field, and that's what Moriarty did. Hinojos is not going to swing at pitches that are not in the zone, but he might right here. A 2-0 pitch, especially off his last swing. And the offering, and he swings and fouls it back on the fastball. Letter high, it's 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fill up your cooler, gas up your car. Stubbs Gas and Oil, easy and convenient. Make them the only stop you need on your way to the big game. Stubbs Gas and Oil, the fastball's a strike. Down the middle, belt high, it's 2-2. Laying down the sign is Casey Harvey. And the pitch swung on and grounded to short. Tom Ward is there on the 4th hop. Slings it to first. Low throw, and it's off the glove of Wakeham. And it's the first error of the game committed by Bennett. That's on the shortstop Ward, and Hinojos is on with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a courtesy runner at first.
Here is Ivan Cardenas. Caden Schwint
Out to bat.
is the courtesy runner for the Bee Diggers.
Ivan Martinez.
So Ivan steps in for the 2nd time. Ivan, his first time up, hit a fly ball to the left fielder, T.J. Clausen, the stretch. Throw back to first, back and diving as the freshman Schwint. Again, threatening weather is on the way, but let's see if we can complete this game. 5 outs remaining. Bee Diggers still with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th, and they got to retire Bennett in the 7th. The Bee Diggers are up 5-1. And the pitch swung on and driven deep down the left field line. That is twisting foul. And that vehicle out there got the brunt of that baseball, and it's 0-1.
Cutter Smith just went past the 86 pitch mark, and according to Chassa, you get past 86, you've got 3 days off. I don't think Bennett plays Saturday, but they do next week, so it really shouldn't affect Cutter Smith one bit.
Fastball goes to the screen and ricochets right back to the catcher Harvey, but it's a stolen base nonetheless for Schwint. He was taking off regardless. Now the Bee Diggers with a chance to add an insurance run. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. Schwint at second. The number 8 here in the lineup, Ivan Cardenas. Oh, waits the pitch. Fastball, that is just outside, barely missed. It's 2-1. Again, Cutter Smith threw a 1-hitter last May in an 11-1 Bennett victory over the Bee Diggers, eliminating Brush in the district championships. And the breaking ball's a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes, but has allowed 8 hits today, including a 3-run homer by Nick Wellen. That broke this game open in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-2 to Ivan. And the offering, and the curveball hit him in the back. The hit by pitch places runners at first and second here for Kyle Wellen, who has doubled and singled and covering every part of his body but his nose and eyes.
Now batting.
Yeah, he's staying as warm as possible. And it shows by the way he's playing. He's very agile out there. The lights have been on, by the way, here at Sunset Baseball Field for at least about an hour. We played an hour and 28 minutes. The lights were on about 30 minutes into the game. It's getting closer and closer. Kevin is good at really tracking the weather better than I can. I can read a radar, but I can't tell time-wise. The pitch, fastball, is outside and high. 1 ball and no strikes. Wellen doubled his first time up, then singled. He's got 25% of the Bee Digger base hits, as does Braxton Shelton. Here's the stretch for the right-hander, Cutter Smith, and the pitch. And that ball goes to the screen. Not sure what he was trying to throw. The wild pitch advances the 2 runners. Schwint to third. And Cardenas to second. Bennett's going to play the infield. No, they're going to play the infield in. They were. The second baseman, Carlos Madera, was coming in. Remember, this all started because of an error on the shortstop Ward. And that fastball is upstairs, 3-0. on pitch number 94. I mean, you know, they want to get through this inning without going to the bullpen, especially on such a cold Tuesday. 3 balls and no strikes. Wellen awaits the pitch. Inside, he walked him. That's the 3rd time Wellen's been on base, matching Shelton's total. Carson Rule is grounded out, singled, and struck out. Not in that order. Singled the 3rd time, and let's see if Cutter Smith's going to be taken off the mound 95 pitches deep in a 5-1 Brush lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They're going to keep him in. I think they just want to settle him down.
Coach Chris Corvestead just came out, just talked to Cutter, make sure that he's doing okay, because he has thrown a few pitches to the screen. And, you know, if we go back to that Platte Valley game, when David King was on the mound,
that's right,
he ended up having an issue out here, and Coach went to the mound, and he was done. He's out of the game. So Corvestead just wanting to make sure that his star pitcher is okay to be able to finish this off in the 6th inning.
Here we go with Carson Rule again, 1 for 3 in the game. The pitch swung on and popped foul, out of play off to the right. Schwint at 3rd, Cardenas at 2nd, Wellen at 1st. 5-1 Brush at the bottom of the 6th inning. 96 pitches deep for Cutter Smith. And he's got more than a 2-to-1 strike to ball ratio. 67 strikes, 29 balls out of the stretch. Harvey lays down the sign, and the 0-1. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner to Rule. It's 0-2.
That's one of the markers that I, as a coach, would want my pitchers to do, is be able to throw 2 out of every 3 pitches a strike. If you could hit 67%, you're going to be effective.
Swung on, line up the middle for a base hit into center field. 1 run is in. Yvonne around 3rd. Throw to the plate's going to be cut off. It's a 2-run single for Carson Rule. And Brush has tacked on 2 runs in the 6th inning, and they lead 7-1. Rule with his 2nd hit of the game. Man, he took it right back through the box, and the Bee Diggers have 9 hits in the game. Shelton's been on base every time, a single, double, and hit by a pitch. I got to tell you, this is a brand new baseball team. This is not the team that was playing last week against Estes and against Eaton and I guess down the stretch of the Valley game. The pitch and the breaking ball is taken for a strike down the middle. It's 0-1. Yeah, this is the way, again, they expected him to play last week. Brush is still in the top 10 in both rankings and RPI. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch, and that's low with a fastball on pitch number 100 delivered by Cutter Smith.
By my count, Brush has played the 2nd strongest schedule in the state in 3A, and right after Eaton. And it's one of those where you play tough competition, it's going to make you better.
The pitch, swing and a miss. Tried to hit that one to another county. It's 1-2. The Bee Diggers have scored in 3 of the last 4 innings, and they're crooked runs in those innings. 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. And we're still in the 6th inning, the stretch. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He blew him away with a fastball. Throw back to 2nd. Runner takes off for 3rd. No throw there. That'll be a steal for Kyle Wellen. And a strikeout of Braxton Shelton. And there are 2 down. Here's Nick Wellen. So Cutter Smith has 8 pitches remaining, a limit of 110. Yeah, if you're Nick, just go after the first strike here. Put it in play. Get on the mound and get out of here. The pitch. And the breaking ball is high. Wellen with a strikeout, a single, and a 3-run homer. That broke it open for the Bee Diggers in the 5th inning. Wellen at 3rd, Rule at 1st. And the offering. Swung on. That ball is driven deep into left field, and that is foul. Boy, he hooked it as opposed to his previous swing in the previous inning.
That's one where it's hit down the line. You just say, hold on, don't turn on the back end down there. If we can stay fair, we've got another 3-run home run.
1 ball and 1 strike. 2 across for the Bee Diggers in the 6th inning. And the offering. And the curveball's a beauty right there just above the knees down the middle. And it is 1-2.
what Brush has done today in the 6th inning is what they needed to do in that Valley game, just to be able to get a couple more runs. And I think if they'd have done that, then they would have been able to close Valley out to where they would have had that as a win.
We had a steal of second, then Wellen breaks for the plate on the back end, and he scores, and the Bead Diggers now lead 8-1. The pitch was high, so a double steal there, steal by Rule, I should say, at second, and then Kyle Wellen scoring for Brush, their second straight 3-run inning. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. And a strikeout of Nick Wellen ends the frame. However, the Bead Diggers score 2 runs, make it 3 runs on 1 hit. There was a crucial error and a man left. Let's head to the 7th inning in 60 seconds. The score, Brush 8, Bennett 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Bryson Wooldridge will try to close this out for the Bead Diggers, 3-0 with a 1.19 ERA. And Nick Wellen is now the second baseman for Brush, so Braxton Shelton remains at short. They've been flip-flopping most of the season. It'll be Deuce Ortiz, Hadley Holloway, and TJ Clausen, 6, 7, and 8 for Bennett here in the top of the 7th inning. And Brush again up 8-1 with 2 consecutive 3-run innings. I mean, everything has been solid for the Bead Diggers today after so many struggles last week. We're getting closer, huh? Well, let's get the heck out of here. Kevin Key, show me the radar.
Looks like it's to the west edge of Fort Morgan.
Okay. Let's start the inning, please. Right now. Yeah, Sweet Caroline, let's end that. And let's get... this will be a quick post game. Very quick post game. In fact, we'll keep it right here as soon as it is over and tell you exactly what happened. We'll tell you quickly, though, the Bead Diggers will play on Thursday, simulcast of that game, but we'll have it on 10:10. Chris Bullbrine will have the call in Sterling against the Tigers at 4 o'clock. Kevin will be with you on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock when the Bead Diggers take on Liberty Common. Usually it's a minute between innings, but I guess with Bryson warming up, there's about a couple of minutes in between the bottom of the 6th and the top of the 7th. Yeah, just throw strikes here and let's get the heck out of here. Deuce Ortiz has popped to center and singled.
Pinch hitter number 2.
That is Jordan Despues. Jordan Despues is now the pinch hitter from the right side. All right-handed hitters today for the Bennett Tigers. The Bead Diggers also had all righties with the exception of Caden Moriarty. And the left-hander Bryson Wooldridge having a fine senior season out of the stretch with the bases empty, and that's right there for a strike with a fastball. Belt high, it's 0-1.
Despres comes into the game hitting .375 as a sophomore. He doesn't have too many at-bats, maybe 23 at-bats, I think, but still .375, not bad.
He takes that, I guess, for a ball. That was just off the corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bead Diggers, the only thing they've done wrong in this game is commit a couple of errors, but really hasn't hurt them too much. The stretch, 1-1, swag and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You can close the book on Nick Wellen as the right-hander threw his best game of the year. 6 innings, struck out 5, walked 1, was in control, allowing 3 hits, and he stepping off the mound as Bryson Wooldridge. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the opening hitter of the 7th inning. And the pitch, and that is just outside, barely missing. Of course, Bryson's ball tails away from the right-handed hitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hinojos lays down the sign. He's caught a nice game today, by the way, for Brush. Come on, Bryson. Now, he wants him to run through the signs. Well, here's the deal, is that Wooldridge is not used to throwing to Hinojos. So he's got to run through the signs again, but the stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, but that's going to go to the screen, and the hitter's going to reach. That'll be a strikeout. Not the way you want to start off the 7th. Despues strikes out, but he's on base on a drop third strike. And here's Hadley Holloway's lined out twice. And he had a bullet to third and a bullet to center. Double play candidate is Holloway from the right side. Throw back to first, and I don't even know why he's doing that. Maybe he doesn't know the forecast. You got a 7-run lead. Let's get out of here. Work on the batter. It's tough to pick off guys, and now we're getting some raindrops here. 3-step lead. The pitch down and away. Yeah, I mean, don't worry about the base runner at all. I mean, I know that might be not that I'm a coach, but
no,
it's a 7-run lead.
As a coach, I'd be saying the batter.
Yeah, I don't get this. You're throwing to first again. I mean, you've got a pitcher here in Wooldridge is a 1.19 ERA, 3-0 going in. You got a 7-run lead, and he's thrown over twice here. And you know that I would think he knows something about the weather. That's a strike, tailing away on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Desprez.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to.
He has a pretty good lead over there at first, but like you say, it doesn't really matter. If he gets a second, if he scores, that's okay.
Well,
get the out.
That's it. And the pitch. Swinging a foul on the breaking ball at the plate. Nice breaking ball thrown by Bryson. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And again, I know I might sound selfish. You want to get this game over with. But even if the ideal conditions were present, worrying about the runner is in a 7-run game is really not the priority at this point. It's just getting the hitter, as you just talked about, Kevin. 1-2. The pitch by Wooldridge. Swing and a miss, and the base is occupied. And Hinojos throws back to first. Cesar having some issues behind the plate there in the 7th. He was so good early and for 6 innings. But there's 1 out as a strikeout is recorded. Well,
especially when you have your 7, 8, 9 hitters in the form of Hadley right there, T.J. Clausen hitting 8, Marcus Kane hitting 9th. As a pitcher, dominant senior, go right at the hitters, get the outs.
Fastball away. You know what it is with Cesar behind the plate? I think there's a different feel catching Nick Wellen's baseballs. He was very comfortable catching Wellen. I don't think he's totally comfortable yet catching the left-hander Wooldridge because his ball tails away.
It has a different spin, and he has that late movement.
Well, he throws back to first again.
And I just was thinking that maybe the other part is as Cesar puts down his signs, maybe his fingers are just a little bit shaped different than Hunter Ludgate's. You get used to being able to see a 1-2, and, from Cesar it's different.
Runner goes, and again that's off the glove of Hinojos. It's still a stolen base. Yeah, he's not comfortable with his zone pitcher right there. He's not used to catching a left-hander. 2 balls and no strikes. Clausen up there. Again, grounded out his first time up and popped out. 8-1 Brush, top of the 7th inning. 1 on and 1 out in scoring position. Well, now you're definitely going to work on the hitter. You don't care about the kid now at second. And Después. And the 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike at the knees, and even he still couldn't handle that baseball. It dropped to the ground. It's 2-1. But he has caught a really good game. It's just in the 7th. It's obviously a tough ask for him. He's not used to the tail on this pitch thrown by Wooldridge. Breaking ball's a strike. Beautiful pitch by Wooldridge. 2-2 to Clausen. Marcus Kane waits to hit next. The stretch by Wooldridge, getting the sign here from Hinojos. And the 2-2 pitch. That is called strike 3 on the outer half. And there's 2 down. And that's strikeout number 3 in the inning with only 2 down. So he might be able to pick up 4 strikeouts in the inning. Marcus Kane has grounded out and struck out. Remember, Wellen had 5 strikeouts in 6 innings. Wooldridge has 3 and might pick up a 4th. And the pitch swung on and grounded a second. Nick Wellen is right there. He slings it to first. And did he call him out? He did call him out. That was close at first. And the game is over. The Bead Diggers win 8-1. But for a second, I thought he might have been safe. But Brush wins the game 8-1. And that means it's time for the Bead Digger post-game show, brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center, proud supporter of all the area athletes. They'll serve you with all your home, farm, and ranch supplies with 3 locations, Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. Mr. D's Ace Home Center. Brush defeats Bennett 8-1, 8 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors, 4 left on base for Brush, 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error, 5 left on base for Bennett. The winning pitcher was Nick Wellen, 6 strong innings. The loss went to Cutter Smith. Time of the game, 1 hour and 44 minutes, and the rally for the Bead Diggers started in the bottom of the third inning. Again, Kyle Wellen was the initiator of that rally for Brush, as Wellen got a pop fly double, and then a couple of batters later, Braxton Shelton with a double, scoring Wellen, making it 1-0. Nick Wellen then had an RBI single as it was 2-0. Bennett scored a run in the fourth inning. Then the Bee Diggers tallied 3 in the fifth and 3 in the sixth. Nick Wellen with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the fifth inning. And then in the bottom of the sixth, the Bee Diggers just tacking on some insurance runs. Carson Rule had a 2-run single, making it 7-1. And then Kyle Wellen would steal home on the back end of a double steal, making it 8-1. The Bee Diggers with a victory moved to 9-7. Bennett falls to 11-7. And the Bee Diggers are back in action coming up on Thursday in Sterling against the Tigers, 4 o'clock on 1010 and KSIR.com. As Chris Bull-Braun will have the call of that game, and Kevin will be back with you on Saturday morning when Brush takes on Liberty Common. All right, we're definitely going to get out of here. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, Rose Condis. For Kevin Fergus, I'm John Beltran. The final score today from Sunset Baseball Field. The Bee Diggers get back on track. They snap a 2-game losing streak, defeating the Bennett Tigers 8-1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.